Why am I optimistic? People always say you're crazy. How dare you be optimistic on a country where in 312 years only 17 people are going to be left? Well, excuse me, I do not care, and neither should you, about what happens in 300 years. What you care about as a business person, what you care about as an investor, what you care about as an artist, you care about the next 3 to 5 years. And Japan is in an absolute sweet spot. And in fact, I think Japan is the model economy. It is capitalism that works. Now, where does my optimism come from? We can define capitalism that works, in a little while. But where does my optimism come from? It is exactly the demographics. I want to be reborn as a 23-year-old Japanese. There's no question about this. The demographics is a reality you've got to live with, right? Now the average age outside of Tokyo is 56. Now I love being in Japan, and the only reason, or one of the reasons why I've stayed there for such a long time is exactly because everybody else gets older faster than I do, right? Which of course statistically is not quite possible, right? But nevertheless, why is the demography actually a sweet spot? It is exactly because the young generation of Japan, right, is now getting better jobs, higher pay. And you can show this. There's lots of data here. I'm not going to throw all of this data up here. You all know that in 1995, the Japanese government made radical reform, right? 1995 was the annus horribilis, right, for Japan. We had the Kobe earthquake. We had the sarin gas attack, and then in the summer we had the Jusen crisis, so we had a savings and loan crisis with run-on banks. Prime Minister Hashimoto at the time, radical reform. They changed the labor law. They killed lifetime employment by allowing part-time employment, contract employment across all industries. And as a result of that, since 1996, the only jobs that were created were part-time jobs. Full-time jobs were destroyed. And so we now, a couple of years ago, had 40% of everybody who receives a paycheck is actually just part or contract work. 1996 was the death of the salaryman, the death, right, of lifetime employment. So why is this good news? It's good news because you and I don't drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror. Right? That was the misery, as it were, of the last 30 years. Now, you've got exactly the tightness of the labor market. The fact that the number of university graduates is declining every year by about 12,000 kids, right, means that now the Japanese in their 20s, in their 30s, are getting full-time job offers, and you've got leading companies. You've got Toyota, you've got Hitachi, you've got fast retailing, rehiring part-time employees on a full-time basis. And this is hugely important for the system.